In this video, we will start with the new article of unit 2nd, which is the general integral. So first definition is what is positive and negative part of function. If the positive part f plus x is defined as maximum of f of x and 0, and the negative part is f minus x, which is equals to minimum of minus f of x and 0. These two define the positive and negative part of a function. Then what is integrable function? If the integration of positive part dx is less than infinity and integration of negative part of function dx is less than infinity, then f is said to be integrable. That is, it is defined as integration f dx equals to integration of positive part of function dx minus integration of negative part of function dx. Again, one remark is there: a function f is integrable if and only if the absolute value or mod of f is integrable, and it is given by integration of mod f dx is equals to integration of positive part of function dx plus integration of negative part of function dx. Next is the theorem where f and g are given integrable. These are f and g are integrable function, and these 5 conditions are given. We have to prove this 5 conditions. So first one is we have to prove that a into f is integrable and integration of af dx is equals to a into integration of f dx. So proof. First, as given, let f be integrable. Now since f is integrable, by definition integration of positive part of f dx is less than infinity, and also integration of negative part of f dx is less than infinity. Now here are 3 possible cases. So case 1. What if a is greater than or equals to 0? Therefore, positive part of the function a into f is equals to a into positive part of function f. Similarly, negative part of function a into f is equals to a into negative part of f. So this implies that integration of positive part of function af dx is less than infinity, and also integration of negative part of function af dx is less than infinity. So this implies that the function af is integrable. So now consider integration of af dx is equals to, since af is integrable, so by definition integration of positive part of the function minus integration of negative part of the function. So this implies integration of a f plus dx minus integration of a f minus dx, which is equals to a into integration of f plus dx minus integration of f minus dx, and by definition this is integration of f dx. So by definition this is equals to a into integration of f dx. Therefore integration of af dx is equals to a into integration of f dx for a greater than or equals to 0. Now case 2. Suppose a is equals to minus 1. Then this a into f becomes minus of f. Now the positive part of this function is equals to f minus, and the negative part of this function minus f is equals to f plus. Now we know that this f minus and f plus are negative and positive part of the function f, which is already given integrable. So this implies that f minus and f plus are integrable, This implies that minus f of, that is positive part of minus f and negative part of minus f is integrable. So this implies that minus f is integrable. Now we consider integration of minus f dx. By definition, integration of positive part of this function minus integration of negative part of this function. So positive part of this function is f minus dx and negative part is f plus dx. So this implies that minus of integration f plus dx minus integration of f minus dx. So again, by definition, this is integration of f of dx. Now case 3 is for a strictly less than 0. So a into f is equals to minus of mod a f, or we can say that a strictly less than minus 1, because we have already taken the condition a is equals to minus 1. So therefore integration of af dx is equals to integration of minus mod of a f dx. So which is equals to minus of integration mod of a f dx. This is by second. So again this is minus mod of a integration of f dx by first. So which is equals to a into integration of f dx for a strictly less than 0. So here all the three conditions have been proved, and therefore integration of af dx is equals to a into integration of f dx, where f is integrable. Now second condition. In second condition, we have to prove that f plus g is integrable, and integration of f plus g dx is equals to integration of f dx plus integration of g dx. This is to prove, and given that f and g are integrable. Now given that f and g, these functions are integrable, so this implies that positive part and negative part of f, also the positive part and negative part of g are integrable. So also by definition, integration of f plus dx less than infinity, integration of f minus dx less than infinity, integration of g plus dx less than infinity, and integration of g minus dx less than infinity. So now since f plus and g plus, these are non-negative measurable functions, so this implies that integration of f plus g plus dx is equals to integration of f plus dx plus integration of g plus dx, which is again less than infinity. So now similarly, integration of f minus plus g minus dx is also less than infinity. Now consider integration of f plus g dx is equals to integration of f plus minus f minus plus g plus minus g minus dx. Now rearranging these terms, we get f plus g plus minus f minus plus g minus dx. So this implies that integration of f plus g plus dx minus integration of f minus plus g minus dx. Now since this both are less than infinity, so this becomes less than infinity. So therefore by definition this implies that f plus g is integrable. Now again let integration of f plus g dx is equals to, by definition, integration of f plus g plus minus f minus plus g minus dx. So now rearranging the terms, we get integration of f plus minus f minus plus g plus minus g minus dx. So this implies that this is integration of f dx plus integration of g dx. So therefore integration of f plus g dx is equals to integration of f dx plus integration of g dx. So the second condition is proved here. Now in third condition we have to prove that if f is equals to 0 almost everywhere, then this implies that integration of f dx is equals to 0, given that f is integrable. So let f is equals to 0 almost everywhere. So this implies that f plus minus f minus is equals to 0 almost everywhere. So again this implies that positive part of function is equals to 0 and also negative part of function is equals to 0 almost everywhere. So therefore it implies integration of positive part of f is equals to 0 and integration of negative part of f is equals to 0. So this implies that integration of f plus dx minus integration of f minus dx is equals to 0. This implies integration of f dx is equals to 0 by definition of integrable function. In fourth condition, we have to prove that if the function f is less than or equals to g, then integration of f dx is less than or equals to integration of g dx. Now the function g can be written as f plus g minus f. Now this is equals to integration of f dx plus integration of g minus f plus dx minus integration of g minus f minus dx. Since f and g minus f, this both are integrable. So now as we have f less than or equals to g, implies g minus f greater than or equals to 0. So this implies that g minus f, the positive part of this function greater than 0 and also the negative part of this function greater than or equals to 0. So again this implies that integration of g minus f plus dx is greater than 0 and integration of g minus f minus dx is greater than or equals to 0. Now let this be number 1 and number 2. Now using this second in 1, we get integration, here it is integration g of dx. So integration g of dx greater than or equals to integration of f dx, that is integration of f dx is less than or equals to integration of g dx. So the fourth condition is proved here. Now the fifth condition. Now in fifth condition it is given that if a and b are disjoint measurable sets, then we have to prove that integration of f over a dx plus integration of f over b dx is equals to integration of f over a union b of dx. Now since integration of f dx is equals to integration of f characteristic function of a union b dx, so this implies that integration of f characteristic function of a plus characteristic function of b dx, this is by theorem. So this implies integration of f characteristic function of a dx plus integration of f characteristic function of b dx. So by definition of integral over a measurable set E, we have integration of f over a measurable set A dx plus integration of f over the measurable set B dx. So here the fifth condition is proved, and hence therefore all the 5 conditions of this theorem have been proved. Next is the example where it is given that f and g are measurable and mod f is less than or equals to mod g almost everywhere, and g is integrable. We have to prove that f is integrable. So solution, here it is given that mod f is less than or equals to mod g almost everywhere. So this implies that by definition of almost everywhere, mod f is less than or equals to mod g for all x belongs to e minus e1, where e1 is a subset of e and measure of e1 is equals to 0. Now we define this function, we define function f as necessary on the set of measure 0, on the set of measure 0. Now we have mod f less than or equals to mod g. This implies that positive part of f plus negative part of f is less than or equals to mod g. This again implies that f plus is less than or equals to mod g and f minus is less than or equals to mod of g. So this implies integration of positive part is less than or equals to integration of mod g, and integration of negative part less than or equals to integration of mod g dx. Let it be number 1. Now it is given that g is integrable. So since g is integrable, this implies that mod g is also integrable. Now since mod g is integrable, by definition implies that integration of mod of g dx is less than infinity. So using this in 1, let it be number 2nd. So using 2 in 1, we get integration positive part of f dx less than infinity and integration negative part of f dx less than infinity. So thereby by definition of integrable, this implies that f is integrable function. And hence proved. In next theorem, it is given that f is measurable, g is integrable function, alpha and beta are real numbers such that alpha less than or equals to f less than or equals to beta almost everywhere. Then there exists a real number capital gamma such that alpha is less than gamma less than beta, and integration of f mod g dx is equals to gamma integration of mod g dx. We have to prove this. So to prove that integration of f mod g dx is equals to capital gamma integration of mod g dx. Let this be number 1. Now since mod of fg is less than or equals to mod of alpha plus mod of beta into mod g and g be integrable. So this implies that fg is integrable. Now also it is given that alpha is less than or equals to f less than or equals to beta. So multiplying by mod g, so we get alpha into mod g less than or equals to f into mod of g less than or equals to beta into mod of g. So taking integration, we get alpha into integration of mod g dx less than or equals to integration of f mod of g dx less than or equals to beta to integration mod of g dx. Let it be number 2. Now if integration of mod g dx is equals to 0, then by theorem g is equals to 0 almost everywhere. And if g is equals to 0 almost everywhere, then result 1, which we need to prove, this is trivially true. Result 1 is trivially true. So second condition, if mod of g dx is not equals to 0, then divide equation 2 by integration of mod of g dx. So we get alpha less than or equals to integration of f into mod of g dx upon integration of mod of g dx less than or equals to beta. Now let capital gamma equals to integration of f mod of g dx upon integration of mod of g dx. So let it be number 3 and this be number 4. So by 3 and 4 we get, so now from 3 and 4 we get alpha less than or equals to capital gamma less than or equals to beta, and as capital gamma is equals to integration of f mod of g dx upon integration of mod of g dx, this implies that integration of f mod of g dx is equals to capital gamma integration of mod of g dx. So hence the theorem is proved. Next theorem is, if f is integrable, then show that f is finite valued almost everywhere. So proof, let the function f be integrable as given, then this implies that mod of is also integrable. So by definition, integration of mod of f dx is less than infinity. So let, if possible, mod f is equals to infinity on a set E with measure of E greater than 0, then we have integration mod of f dx greater than or equals to integration of mod of f dx over the measurable set E. So which is greater than or equals to integration of mod of f characteristic function of the measurable set E dx. So again by definition this is mod of f measure of E. So this is greater than n measure of E for all n belongs to the set of naturals. Now however this n is arbitrary, so this implies that integration of mod of f dx is greater than infinity. But let this be number 1. So but from 1 we have integration of mod of f dx is less than infinity. Hence our assumption that the measure of set E is greater than 0 is wrong. So hence our assumption is wrong. Therefore measure of E is equals to 0. So this implies that f is finite valued almost everywhere. So hence the theorem is proved. Next theorem is, it is given that f is measurable, measure of E is less than infinity, the set A is less than the function f, which is again less than b on the defined on measurable set E, and then we have to prove that A into measure of E less than or equals to integration of f over E less than or equals to b into measure of the measurable set E. So proof, given that f is measurable, also measure of E is less than infinity, and A is less than the function f, which is less than b on the measurable set E. So now this implies that A into characteristic function of E less than or equals to f into characteristic function of E less than or equals to b into characteristic function of E. That is, we have multiplied by the characteristic function to this. So now A into characteristic function of E, f into characteristic function of E, and b into characteristic function of E are integrable. So this implies that integration A into characteristic function of E dx less than or equals to integration of f characteristic function of E dx less than or equals to integration of b into characteristic function of E dx. Then by definition this is A into measure of E, which is less than or equals to integration f over measurable set E dx less than or equals to b into measure of E, and hence proved. In our next video we will start with next article, which is Lebesgue dominated convergence theorem. Thank you.